Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And earlier today at another conference, T-Mobile's Neville Ray gave another update on the network. So I will leave this article in the description down below so you guys can read the script for yourselves. I watched the entire 42-minute video, so I wanted to give you guys a summary, an opinion of what I thought. So early on, he stated that there would be a bigger update happening early next year at a media and investors conference. So that'll likely be before Q4, I would say, probably earlier in the month of January, before they release the Q4 numbers. I think they'll give the update, and I think then they'll announce that they have hit 100 million covered with 2.5 Sprint's spectrum that they acquired in the merger. Now, he stated that they have potentially been flying past that goal of 100 million pops covered. So I think I said it in previous videos, they always under promise, over deliver. So I think, again, I'm just guessing here, I think they'll be at around 120 to 100 million covered with 2.5 once it's all said and done. So that when next month, when they go to that meeting and they announce it, I think that's where there will be 120 to 130 million covered. A lot of people have telling me 2.5 is popping up everywhere now. They're investing more. The permits are coming in. They're being approved. It's popping up all over the place. New Jersey, New York, El Paso, Houston. I'm seeing it everywhere now. Is it necessarily happening at mass scale? Likely not. Tech Extremist, I'll leave his information and videos in the description down below. Just recently traveled to California, and he's still not seeing N41 on stretches of larger highways and interstates. So there's that. So that's still not happening. Within cities, I guess the urban markets where it mainly matters, you can make the argument that more of it is being deployed. But along interstates and larger highways, that is still not the case as of yet. So what did he really talk about during this conference? He did state what you're seeing here in the title. He did talk about mid-band fixed internet, mobile plans, and voice over NR. He referenced right off the bat, to get it out the way, he referenced that T-Mobile would be first to all of them. So he said his network would be the driver for voice over NR. He would be the first company to deploy carrier aggregation on standalone 5G using mid and low band. He said that right at the beginning. He said there's no doubt about it. He said he's been trying to catch Verizon for 7 years in the LTE space. He says now it's time for them to catch me. So that's pretty much what he was referencing, that he would be first to all of those technologies based on the simple fact that he has the spectrum now to do it. He did reference auction 107, the C-band auction, but of course he could not speak on it because there's a quiet period. So he wasn't really able to go into detail in terms of how this changes the landscape. But some people have told me that once Verizon, or if they get 100 megahertz nationwide, that would immediately close the gap to what T-Mobile has now because of Verizon's existing infrastructure. And I can see that argument, but still, if you think about it, T-Mobile still has, after the fact that Verizon gets that 100 megahertz, T-Mobile would still have 100 to 150 more mid-band megahertz to play around with. So the performance driver can still be increased for T-Mobile whenever Verizon taps out. Now, you could still make the case with Verizon, yeah, they have millimeter wave. Neville did touch on that during that conference. He said that he stated early on in the year that DSS was going to be bad, that it wouldn't be what everyone was making it out to be. And he signaled again today that he was right on that. He tested the technology within the labs of T-Mobile. He said he's been in the industry for 20 plus years. He did not like the performance of it at all. And it seems, based on early reporting, that he is right. People are telling me The phone's constantly switching 5G LTE, 5G LTE. It's not a constant connection. People are telling me LTE performs better than DSS. So there are some downsides and negatives to the DSS technology. Could that be fixed? Could it get better? Of course, it will get better. But right now, apparently Neville Ray has been spot on when he says the DSS technology is not performing as the other carriers hyped it up. Now, the channel size really doesn't matter. Is it 5, 10, 20? Based on the fact that technology was always going to perform 20% less versus anything LTE related. That's what I've been tracking. It was 10 to 20%. So whatever spectrum that you added to the DSS, it was always going to perform 10 to 20% less, no matter the channel size. So that was always going to be the case from the jump. So that's why people have been seeing, okay, LTE is performing better when running speed tests. Not much, but I think in many cases, on average, it is that 10 to 20% difference. So that's what he was speaking on. And then again, he's not really a big fan of millimeter wave. He says, we're living in a wireless world where you need continuous connection. And he says, if he's pretty much referencing, if you're driving by a millimeter wave node and you're within a range, then your phone connects to it, and then boom, it's immediately, once you get beyond the range of the node, you're already missed the connection pretty much. So it's really a stationary connection in many cases. If you're nearby, if you're sitting in a restaurant having dinner, you could potentially connect to it. But if you're on the move, on the go, you could very quickly get outside of the range of that connection. And that's pretty much what he was referencing during this conference. Again, he said he's tested millimeter wave. He's rolled some of it out on his network. They've seen the limitations. They've tested it. They said they're not a fan of it. They will use it. It will have its place. But he said he's not a fan of it. He says 2.5, the mid-band layer, is the way to go, to have continuous connection, to have performance on further away from the cell site. And then he does say he had to build his network on mid-band from the beginning, so his grid is ready. And that's what I've been tracking for a very long time. I posted a picture on my Instagram. They started LTE with no low band. They had no low band during HSPA, none, zero. So they had to, during HSPA, they had to build the tower grid based on mid-band. They had no band 5 during that era, nothing low band. They had to build 1900 megahertz band 2 during HSPA and early in LTE. They had to build on mid-band. So their tower spacing in a lot of urban, suburban areas fits the needs of mid-band. So that's what he's been working towards. Of course, there will be additional densification needed as time goes by. But that's when he says millimeter wave will come in. He believes, from what he's tracking, how long he's been in the industry, it's a stationary connection. It's like a hotspot. So he says arenas, stadiums, some very dense populated urban areas like train stations, indoors, that's where the connection is mostly needed. But if you're on the go constantly, he says millimeter wave, let's say you're on the subway and you're traveling past macro sites, you would connect to the millimeter wave for the instant when you're in that range, and then you're once you get outside that range, you immediately disconnect from millimeter wave. So this is just what he's saying. This is not me. This is what he's saying. He's not a fan of it. That's why they haven't really been aggressively focused on that. They're more aggressive on 2.5, and that's what he was referencing during the conference. So he's definitely going a completely different way versus his competitors. He stated that. He was asked how his network rollout differs from the competition. Early on, he stated AT&T and Verizon have been rolling out millimeter wave. That's how they started early. Then he is saying his low band rollout with band 71 has pushed AT&T and Verizon to use DSS, to also incorporate a coverage layer on 5G. And then Verizon, we all know now, is fully invested in millimeter wave. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They are pushing millimeter wave to the absolute max. AT&T not really on board. Kind of saw that today. They also gave a speech. They kind of say, kind of like what T-Mobile is saying, it's a use by use case, millimeter wave and CBRS as well. They're saying, they're referencing that those technologies and frequencies are for indoor uses and some heavily populated venues. So they're also changing their mind on that. So we'll see what Verizon does. We'll see if they continuously push that millimeter wave spectrum, or if they also say, hey, look, now that we have C-band, we're going to slow down a millimeter wave and we're going to push the C-band. So that remains to be seen. So I just wanted to give you guys a brief update. Again, T-Mobile, Neville Ray stating they will be first to most of the newer technologies that are added with 5G, voice over NR, carrier ag on standalone, and then pushing the speed limit to the next generation of speeds. So stay tuned for the channel. There's more content coming. If you have been on the channel or you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you haven't, hit the notification bell so you are notified when I do upload content. Make sure to follow all of the social media outlets for more updates. Pictures are going up on the Instagram. Also, the videos and more interactions are happening on Twitter, so make sure you follow those. And thanks again for watching. This is Tyrone with Tech Life, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.